Are the Lakers for real, Jenks?
You know what? They might be. And you know what's funny is that when I was anchoring or hosting with Lucy last week and you're on vacation and I was making fun of people who immediately started betting on the Lakers when they made the trade for Luka. I was like, "Oh, they have Luka. I'm going to put money on the Lakers to win the title." And there was this pause and Lucy was like, "That's what I did." And I was like, "Oh, sorry."
Oh,
I know.
bless her
I felt
heart.
I know. I felt like such a jerk. Poor Lucy. That was on me. I felt bad. But you know what? Maybe she's right. Maybe the Lakers have a shot here. They're playing really good basketball. They won 13 of 16. I think ultimately what I worry about, and they tried to make a trade at the deadline to bring in a big man because they really need someone in the middle defensively. Ultimately, I think that's going to be a big problem for them, and they know that. They know that when they traded away Antonio Davis, they absolutely won that trade. We know that, but they've got to have someone in the middle or some sort of size or defense to sort of help carry them all the way. And I think ultimately that's going to be their one weakness here. But at the same time, when you have LeBron and you have Luka, just by virtue of those two guys alone, you're going to be able to win a lot of games. And it looks like Luka is healthier than maybe we thought he was going to be. Remember when he was with the Mavericks, it looked like it was going to be at least a few more weeks before he returned. He goes to LA, comes back almost immediately, which I thought was a little interesting. But ultimately, I think this trade, we knew it was a win for the Lakers, but I will say as far as this season is concerned, they're even better than I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, I think they are good, and I do think they're for real as somebody who is a contender in the Western
Mm-hmm.
Conference. But you're right. I think some of that lack of size down low is really going to hurt them. And even when they had Anthony Davis, the team that ousted him in each of the last two postseasons was the Nuggets. They had no answer for Nikola Jokic. Last year, they won a total of one game in that series. They got beat 4 games to 1 in that series against the Nuggets. So if the Nuggets are still in the Western Conference and they match up with them, I feel like that's going to remain to be a problem. The other question we have for the Lakers is, are they going to be playing any lick of defense? Because
Yeah.
we know that Luka Doncic, as good as he is offensively, doesn't really bring to the table the defense that Anthony Davis brought as somebody who's one of the best defenders in the league. So I think that we have some people saying, okay, the Lakers defenses look pretty good. If you look at their last stretch of like their last 7 games or so, they've turned it on, but they've also been playing the Jazz, the Hornets, the Trailblazers, and like a Mavericks team that, obviously traded away Luka Doncic. So I feel like I still have questions about that. I will say this. They do have the veteran presence that I think you need in the postseason. Like if all things are equal
Mm-hmm.
and you have two teams and one side has a bunch of playoff veterans who've been there, done that before, like maybe I would tend to side with that team because I
Yeah.
think that's the biggest thing going against the Oklahoma City Thunder. The average age of their starting five is 24.2 years old. And
Wow.
as good as all the metrics are for the Thunder, maybe that's going to be the thing that stops them. Like, obviously, all the stats, best
Mm-hmm.
defense in the league. SGA is playing like an MVP. But, out of the Western Conference, we have a ton of teams that have a ton of veteran leadership. The Lakers, also looking at the Warriors now with Jimmy Butler. So, Jenks, do you think the age of the Thunder is going to be an issue in the postseason, or is it a nothing burger?
I don't know if it's a nothing burger, but I will say this: the Thunder are close. Like last
Mm.
year, to me was the year before the year. Like I really believe the Thunder have enough experience now. Maybe they're one more season away, but I don't know. I think last year was the year where we saw, okay, this is a young team. Maybe they make a move or two, and they did. And SGA is a year older now. Chet Holmgren's back. I think Isaiah Hartenstein has been great. He's playing better than he ever did when he was in New York. Like they have really put together a solid core and they have great role players as well. Like Alex Caruso is a guy that, isn't the first guy that pops into your mind, but he's a great defender. They really have a great unit and they're going to win a title. I really believe that. I don't know if it's this year. The Celtics are fantastic. The West is really tough. So maybe this is the one year they don't get out of the West, but they're super close. I'm not going to be surprised if Oklahoma City wins a title. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, I'm not going to be surprised either, just because they are so supremely talented. And when youth actually goes in your favor is the fact that the the postseason is almost a season in itself. So as much as it helps to have postseason leadership from some of those veterans, it's also a grind. You know, some of these guys that have extra wear and tear on their bodies, it may not go in their favor. So Oklahoma City still looks like the team to beat in the West. Meanwhile, in the East, it's still the Celtics. Jenks, I want to drop this in here real quick just because this is what got me going on the age discussion. It's wild to me that the average age of the starting five for Oklahoma City is 24.4. Auburn basketball in NCAA, their average age is 23.2. So only a year younger in college basketball. That's what we're starting to see in college hoops because guys like are there for like 6 years. It's crazy.
That is wild. The starting five for Drake, average age 42.
Auburn.
No.
Oh,
no, I know.
You're making a joke. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just messing with you. No, I'm messing with you. But I guess we've seen that with, the transfer portal, and COVID had a lot to do with that. So maybe some of that is thinning out as well. But that's a wild stat to think about. I had no idea. That's a good one.
Yeah, especially because the Thunder are so good. Like ruling the NBA at that age is absolutely crazy.